Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 182, I think, maybe, perhaps, of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Just swallowed a generic Cialis. Don't worry. Don't call the FDA to your state attorney general. It's prescribed from my neurologist, so it's all above board, although you might be angry. Because I did also swallow some unprescribed candy corn, a handful of it. So, I'm coming in feisty, right? My Mr. Perfect, he can get erect at any moment because he's assisted by science. Trust the science. And my blood sugar is up because there's still candy corn upstairs. And I have been feisty all week. All week, I've been causing strife. And every time I get on the microphone, I've learned. Let's delve into the episode now. We're still talking about breast implants. This is the third episode in a row. A few nights ago, I realized that sometimes when I talk about things here at Verbal Graffiti, there is not an audience. There are viewers, there are listeners, and thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, share to a degenerate friend that you may have. But I just talk, and I don't really know how you're reacting to what it is I say. But when I do stand-up comedy, I get the reaction right away, and that's why I enjoy it. And I learned a few nights ago that when a comic, a non-board certified, and we'll get to that. We will get to that here at Verbal Graffiti and my thoughts on board-certified surgeons. But when there's a regular John gets on stage and starts talking about breast implants and all things breast implants, some audience members take umbrage with that. And that's what happened 2 nights ago. It was a very small audience, a bunch of regulars at the bar, just drunks. Just one of the patrons there. I remember him telling me he treated this dive bar as his living room. It was the most depressing statement I've ever heard anybody say. He is a gentleman. I do enjoy his company. But when you do treat your local dive bar or you view it as your living room, life kicked you in the balls. And it really did. Both of them, the left and right. The kick hit both the balls. If your dive bar is your living room. But anyways, they were heckling me. And then the two, they came there to watch stand-up. Like a young couple, probably mid-20s, early 30s, I'm not sure age. They were white. And I started talking about breast implants. And they got up, paid their bill, heckled me as they left. The guy gave me the thumbs down. A physical thumbs down. What a dweeb. What a dweeb, that guy. And, he's totally, I'm not gonna try to psychoanalyze their relationship. But when I started talking about breast implants, they visibly got upset, kind of chastised me, and then the thumbs down as they left. Because I did acknowledge them as they're leaving. I'm like, why are you leaving? I'm just a guy. I'm talking about breast implants and what I've learned via the internet at YouTube University. And boom, the guy hit me with the thumbs down. And 12 years into comedy, people are still giving me the thumbs down. Why do I do this? Because I love the game. Married to the game. That is stand-up comedy. But anyways, I'm transitioning now from the lollipops, the gumballs, the candy corn, the cotton candy of breast implants to the darker side of the implants. And what I've been watching now, if you're a avid viewer of Verbal Graffiti, the last couple episodes, I've been talking about breast implants, testimonials of babes who have gotten them done, to themselves in their chest. But now I'm watching breast implant regret testimonials, and it's so polarizing, which is obvious, right? When you watch the testimonials of the babes that went from itty bitty tea community to 3 months later, they got the big badonkers, jugglers. It's Christmas morning after the post-surgery soreness and uncomfortable and rehab and all that. They're giddy. You can see it through the screen. These babies who now have, high profile breast implants, and they talk about shopping and the new bras and the dresses they can wear, and they're enchanted with their own body and how they can't wait for summer to show off their new body, their new chest at the beach, and they can flooze it up and be a strumpet and all those, those nasty words that you say to women who show off their chest. But we love them here. We love them here, the scantily clad babes around the world, and especially the American ones who, chastise the B-man and walk out when I'm doing stand-up. But anyways, they get a guy. That's very. It should be obvious that's the type of video that's going to be put out. But now I'm watching like the polar opposite, like the ladies, the babes who got the implants. And whether it was 3 years later or 14 years later or 10 years later, they have complications with the implants. Let's get into it. I learned this past week between episodes 181 to 182 that there is, I don't think it's like a technical medical term for this, but the babes on the internet call this breast implant. What's the word? Infection? No, disease. Fuck, man. I have the website up on my laptop that's over there, but it's like breast implant. What's the fucking word, B-man? What is the word? I've been studying up on this the last 5 days. Breast implant. Inflammation. No, well, it's when the implants don't take. We talked about last week about how if you get implants, sometimes the scar tissue can gather around the implant, and then that could cause some pain and discomfort, and you could see the implant like through the skin. So the surgeon will have to go in once again and try to chip away at the scar tissue or remove the implant altogether. And then you have to decide as a baby, hey, do I want to get a new implant or just keep them all out, and not put anything back in there and go back to the itty bitty titty community. But there are these babes that there are symptoms that implants can cause your body that are much more serious than just a little bit of scar tissue. And this is how fucked up the B-man is in my head. Like I start watching these videos and I'm listening to all the symptoms of a breast implant disease, and now I think I have breast implant disease, even though I've never had implants. I am part of the itty bitty titty community because I'm a man and I'm just a lengthy guy. But that's how, that's why I can't go to Google, ChatGPT for medical advice, because any advice I get, I convince myself, well, I have that disease, I have that illness, and let's get into the symptoms. If you have implants in your body, sometimes your body just doesn't take to the implant. Obviously, they're foreign objects inside your body. They weren't there when you were born, so it's like your body just reacts to it. It's not a natural thing. So some of the illnesses are the symptoms that the breast implants can cause the babes. If you are a lady with these implants. You could get inflammation around your face. You'll notice your face gets just a little chubby. You could get like numbness down your arm and into your fingers and into your feet. You get like acne on your face. Your face will break out once or twice every month or two. You'll get a sharp, almost like electrocution type pains in your chest, not like all the time, just sporadically. You get aches and pains in your joints. You get loss of memory. You lose your hair. You lose some hair, and a loss of memory. So it's a lot of loss of sleep, a little bit of depression. So these are all symptoms that are common with some babes with implants, and they called it a breast implant illness, I think is the term. I'll look it up and maybe I'll get back to you next episode. But yeah, so if you get implants and you're getting aches and pains in your joints and some numbness in your arms and your skin is breaking out and maybe you get some rashes on your neck and you're losing some hair, that could be the cause. The implants could be the cause of all of this. So again, as one astute babe who suffered from this breast implant illness, like I said last week or in last episode, that the percentage of people, the percentage of people who get breast implant surgery that have complications, whether it's with scar tissue or something else, can be anywhere between 5 to 25%. So I just down the middle, 10 to 15% of people have some complications and need to get the breast implants taken out or redone or cleaned up or what have you. And I don't know what it is that has you, but that is a phrase that people use. But one astute testimonial that I was watching, that she was saying, well, how many people actually go back to the surgeon who put in the breast implants complaining about these symptoms? Like, she was guessing that a lot of patients probably don't. They probably go to a primary care physician or some type of specialist or a neurologist. And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because you're getting numbness in your arms and you have achy joints. Like, maybe the breast implant surgeon's not the first doctor you're going to seek out. Although, if I were to get something foreign in my body, like an implant, like these 2 silicone saline balloons in my body, I might put 2 and 2 together. But she made that point, so maybe it is higher than 25%. Like, maybe it might not be crazy to say breast implant illness can be up to, I don't know, 40%. I don't think that's too much of a stretch to say 40% of babes who get breast implants of any kind might deal with some symptoms, some unwanted symptoms from those implants. So it was just interesting. I'm learning more, and I'm sure next step, maybe I should just turn verbal graffiti into a breast implant thought-provoking podcast. I'm thinking about it because in the last 2-3 weeks, I'm kind of an expert on all things breast implants, and that's the next thing I want to talk about. I think I could be a breast implant surgeon. Does that make me an arrogant person? Is a B-man an arrogant person for thinking I can successfully do breast implant surgery on a babe who wants them? I really do think I can, because I've been watching the surgeries on YouTube and some other forums where I've been watching the surgery of breast implants, and the surgery is not that long. It's usually a half hour if it's just an implant without like a lift or any type of reconstruction. If it's first time breast implant, I can do that surgery. The B-man can do that surgery successfully, and you'll be giddy with the boobs I put inside of you. And I really do believe I could do that. And then, like, not right away. I honestly believe if you gave me 3 months, if we have a 3-month course, like 1 month, I'm just studying. I'm studying the books, YouTube University, studying the procedures, kind of what I'm doing now. All right. And 1 month of that. And then a second month where I'm tagging along a surgeon. Like, I'm in the operating room while he or she is doing the surgery, the breast implants, just watching, observing. And then the third month is the surgeon watching, observing me, monitoring me as I do the implants. So month 3 is me actually, cutting open the skin, squeezing the boob in, implant, and then stitching it up. I really do believe, because I've been watching, it's not that complicated of a surgery. And I honestly, it's not just implants. Maybe I'm wildly I honestly don't think I'm overestimating my capabilities as a human being. Because like before the year, I don't know, 1600, people weren't going to 4 years of med school. Like, I don't need 4 years of med school to be putting breast implants in you successfully. And not just successfully, like wow, wowzer. You have the hands of God, like that, blessing you. And I honestly feel that way about most surgeries. If you give the B man one surgery to focus on, to study, to learn how to do, and practice with another surgeon who's experienced in whatever that surgery is, I believe I can master that surgery within 3 months and then make a career out of it. Now, I'm not arrogant enough to believe that I can do like heart surgery or neurosurgery or like, I don't know, like emergency lung surgery. I'm just talking like no like internal organs, nothing that's life or death. But if you gave me like a broken ankle surgery, breast implant, maybe you got your appendix has to be removed. The appendix, I could remove your appendix. 3 months. Study up, go to the operating room, watch a couple other surgeons do it. I can remove your appendix. Surgery's not that difficult. You have a scalpel, you make a little incision, you stick your fingers in there, you pull out the appendix, stitch it back up, get out of my operating room. Next. An assembly line of appendix or breast implants or not face. The face implants are like plastic surgery. That's complicated, and those give me the heebie-jeebies. I cannot watch those. Yeah, but I'm like any kind of simple, non-life-threatening surgery or life-saving surgery, I should say, the B-man can do. Now, I don't know how to do it now, but you give the B-man 3 months. And I don't think it's just me. I think any person who graduated high school in America, right, who is coherently still there, can probably do surgery at a successful level where like 90% of the patients are moderately satisfied with the work you did. Now, yeah, maybe the scars might be a little more revealing than you would like, but just the basic, hey, you still alive? You still able to eat candy corn? Yeah? Okay. Then shut the fuck up. Be happy what the B-man did to you. But I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think you could do surgery? If it really came down to it? I don't think what I'm getting at here is I should not have to go to 4 years of med school and 6 years of residency to be a plastic surgeon, especially a breast implant plastic surgeon. If I just specialize on a certain surgery, and for me it'd be breast implants, 3 months, 90 days, it's November 1st or early November. By spring break, I could give a little hottie, Arizona State University, I could give her the breast she dreams of for her spring break to Cancun. It's just a shame that I don't know the board certification or whoever the medical people up top deciding who's legal and who's not to do these surgeries. I need to talk to them. Moving along. All right. This comes from the subreddit Creepy Encounters. Old man at hotel sitting on balcony with binoculars watching people at pool. Creepy? Question mark. I work at a fairly upscale 4-star resort style hotel ran by Marriott. I checked in a man who requested a room by the bar. Not even an hour later, a lady came to the front desk, almost in tears with a shaky voice, asking to talk to her manager about an old creepy man sitting on his balcony watching her with binoculars while she was at the pool. She was uncomfortable and felt violated. I am not sure how she knew he was watching her specifically, but she was really shaken up. My manager went to check it out and could see the binoculars sitting on the balcony where he's staying. He told our head of LP, and she said they looked at the cameras, but there's nothing they can do about that because people bring binoculars to look at the river and stuff. ... I feel like they should at least consider confronting him about if they catch him doing it at the pool, right? Just seems very dismissive to say we can't do anything about it. Thoughts? Well, I want to take this moment on my platform that is Verbal Graffiti to apologize to this lady at the pool for looking at her, gawking at her through my binoculars. And yes, those were the B-Man's binoculars. And in my defense, and that's what I'm going to do here right now, before I checked into this hotel run by the Marriott, I went to the Marriott website and I read through their bylaws that are listed on their corporate website, and there's nothing on or in the bylaws that says you cannot bring binoculars to any of their hotels, the chain of their hotels. So I believe that I am in the right looking at babes at the pool. That's why I paid extra to be at a balcony overlooking the pool. And if anybody should be at fault, and I'm not at fault, by the way. Like, you looked at the security cameras, the security guards looked at all the cameras, and they saw no wrongdoing by me, the B-Man, the creep, on the balcony of the hotel overlooking the pool. And the reason why there was no wrongdoing is because the B-Man wasn't doing anything wrong. I was looking, gawking, ogling this babe in her thong bikini, prancing around the pool, but my hands were on my binoculars. My penis, Mr. Perfect, was not exposed. I was not touching myself under my pants. I was not stroking myself. I was not making any obscene gestures. I was merely enjoying the view that the hotel was providing me, the patron, in the balcony room. And that's my defense. Again, to this babe, I just want to say, like, you should be thanking me. Because if anything, I am how should I say this? I'm probably the most respectful John at that hotel looking at you in your thong bikini. And let's talk about you, right? I'm not here to blame the victim. All right? We all saw you, though. You're walking around your thong bikini. You're picking out that little piece of floss. You have your freshly pedicured toes. You're getting out of the pool. This swaying your wet hair back, and you're reapplying sunscreen to your perfect olive skin. And you expect nobody not to notice you? And first of all, thank you very much for having a BMI under 15%. You don't see that. You don't see much of that in America anymore. So thank you for that. And keeping your body firm and your olive skin beautifully protected from the sun. But I was from a distance. I was being respectful. Right? I wasn't down at the pool. I wasn't at the ground level. I was above you, far away. And through my binoculars, right, I wasn't the only one ogling at you. There were plenty of people, plenty of Johns, but plenty of perverts at the pool, right beside you, looking at you, gawking at you, amazed by your beauty, maybe mentally undressing you, like right in front of you. Did you not notice little Timmy at the pool? Little Timmy popped perhaps his first boner at the pool while his mother was beside him. Do you understand the trauma you, in your thong bikini, may have caused little Timmy, a boy who pops his first boner in front of his mother, like pre-puberty, that's gonna cause a lifetime of embarrassment, of sexual shame because of you and your attire at that pool. What about little Timmy? All right, all you're talking about is a creepy pervert from the balcony with the binoculars. But what about little Timmy? Right? You ruined him. You ruined his sexuality. You ruined his puberty before even getting to puberty. But what I'm getting at here is, the B-Man, I'm respectful. I was observing you from a distance. I was quiet. I was trying to keep the peace. Is what the B-Man was doing. If anybody should be at fault, it's the hotel and it's you. All right. Not the hotel, but the engineers of the hotel. Like, what did the engineers who built this Marriott hotel think when they put balconies overlooking the pool? What did they expect was going to happen? You didn't think there were going to be some guest at the hotel who might like to look at babes prancing around the pool in their thong bikini and their pedicure and their manicure and their perfectly highlighted hair? It's not my fault. That's entrapment. Or if anything, I should be the one complaining to the hotel. How can you put just a gentleman, a guy who pays his taxes? How can you put me in this predicament? You're making me do something I don't want to do. But thankfully for you and the hotel, I have self-restraint, which not many Johns do. So I feel like you should be apologizing to me. Am I wrong? Am I in the wrong? I think I'm more in the right than I'm in the wrong. And I think you're more in the wrong than you think you are in the right. So I think I should be the one going down to the front desk complaining to you about you complaining about me. And again, just a disclaimer before we move on. Yes, I brought my own binoculars to the hotel, but it wasn't just to look at this babe. I always carry binoculars with me, whether I'm at a hotel or whether I'm not. They're in my pocket. They're in my little bag, my little fanny pack, my backpack. I have binoculars on me almost at all times because I love nature and I love beauty, and I don't want to miss an opportunity to see nature and beauty that's far away. And yes, I will admit, you are beautiful, and I thank you for that. Now, enough with that. I got to go to the adjacent bar and order myself a triple scotch on the rocks. Let's go look at a video or some photos or something. We'll do something during the intermission. I'll be right back. In the aforementioned segment, is aforementioning or aforementioned? Anyway, I don't know what that phrase is, but earlier this episode. All right, let's use simple language here so I don't stumble over my words. Earlier this episode, I was mentioning how I'm listening to this podcast on World War I, also known as The Great War. The podcast is being done by Daryl Cooper. Forget the actual name of the podcast. Perhaps I really do have breast implant illness. All right, enough with the implants. Anyways, so Daryl Cooper, who I think he worked for the state or maybe the military, but he knows military history very well. He does these long-form podcasts that are 3-4 hours long, multiple parts to them. They don't come out very often because they're well put together and well researched. So when they do pop off or show up on my feed, I get giddy. So I turned it on. He's talking about early World War I from the German perspective, and he made an astute point. Daryl Cooper, that is. He made a point. I'm not sure where he was. He was somewhere foreign. And he was telling us over how he was at a kind of a dive bar in this foreign country, and he was with his American troops. He had that American bravado. He was young, and he kind of got into a bar fight with a local there. And after the local left, he went to the bartender, Daryl Cooper, that is, like, what was his problem? What? And then I guess the local, in whatever country they're in, they lost the war. And then Daryl was confused. He went to the bartender. He's like, well, I'm from America. Like, we've lost wars. We've lost plenty of wars in our history. And the bartender said, well, no, well, you're like when the local lost his war, like the country dissolved. The country is no more. And then Daryl made the point of like, oh, well, that's never happened to America. Or maybe it's the bartender who made that point. Yeah, I think America, we've lost wars, but we really haven't lost a war because we're still a country. We're still a people. We're still here. The United States of America. So in that sense, when you think about it in that way, I'm going to make the argument going forward that America has never lost a war. We are undefeated when it comes to combat and international fights because we're still here, the United States of America. So as long as we're still here, we've never lost a war. We are undefeated. A tip of my penis to all the Americans who are brave enough, man enough, lady-like enough to, go fight for my freedoms because I'm a pussy and I'm certainly not going to do it. So yeah, we're undefeated. How about that, America? We've never lost a war. It's all about how you think about it. All right, moving forward. This guy might have lost a little bit here. It comes from the subreddit Cuckold Psychology. I think we might have visited this subreddit previously in other episodes. The vicious loop of cuckolding. Aftermath and reflection. I've realized my favorite part of being a cuck is a cycle I get stuck in. I'll come while watching her with him, and immediately the wave of regret and post-nut clarity hits me. The sting of jealousy, the shame, the regret. But then I keep watching, and the sex is so hot that I'm hard again before I know it. It's the vicious loop of come, regret, hard again. Over and over. It's humiliating, it's addictive, and it owns me in a way nothing else ever has. Well, thank you for that post, because that's what I'm going to name my autobiography if I ever write one. I'm going to call it, or title it, Come, Regret, Hard Again. The story of Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Love that. Come, regret, hard again. The life of a cuck. It does, what's that statement? The youth is wasted on the young. Well, it's being wasted on you. But enjoy that you're able to get hard so quickly again. Because some of us, I was there at one point. I am no longer there. I hawk my dick loogie once, then I'm good for 12 hours. Get back at me in 12 hours. There was a time when I could go 2, 3, 4 rounds a night. No longer, because youth is wasted on the young. But I was once young, so I can't complain about that. But your predicament here, yeah, it's interesting. And it's not... Stop being so hard on yourself. All right? You are not to blame. All right? I know you're a cuck, and this is a vicious cycle that kind of... It consumes all of your thoughts. Every waking moment, this is all you think about is your wife being cucked. But stop hating on yourself, because when you really think about it, like, yeah, you're a cuck, right? And there should be some shame in you being a cuck. But what does that make the rest of us? Like, at least you're man enough to have a wife. The rest of us cheese doodles, me included. We're not man enough to have a wife. We're not man enough to even be in a position to be a cuck. Therefore, we're relying on your wife or your sugar baby or your escort or whoever this lady is. Like, we're relying on her cucking you to get our nut. So what does that make us? The voyeurs through the screen watching you get cucked. I think that makes us cucked squared. I think, if my algebra is correct. So yeah, be down on yourself, but just know there's a bunch of other people on the internet that are cuckier, cuck squared than you. So in terms of the scale of cuckiness, like, you're cuck. It's a cuck we strive to be. Us Johns without a wife, without a girlfriend, without a side piece, mistress, escort, whoever, whatever title you want to give the baby, we're relying on your cuckiness to get our own nuts. So in that, they take some pride in that. And I mean that. That's coming from my black heart and my ball sack. They take pride in being a cuck and showing everyone. Actually, now that I think about it, in your post, you did not say that you were like videotaping it and putting it on the internet. So disregard everything I just said. But there are cuck videos on the internet, and that makes me cuck cubed. But to your situation, the life of a cuck and what you've described does not get talked enough about. It's so often when we talk about the cuck, that we talk about the actual act of the cuck, right? The chair in the corner of the bedroom while your wife gets her uterus punctured by Jamal or a Chad or a member of a football team or a police officer or whoever it may be. When we talk about cucks, especially on the internet, like, that's usually what we're talking about, is like the actual act of the cuck. But what you're bringing up is so insightful, because as a cuck, hey, B-Man, how many times can you say the word cuck in one episode? We're going to break the record in this one, episode 182, I think. But like, that's all that ever gets discussed. But the aftermath, like the actual cucking, is what you enjoy, right? As you say here, like when your wife is getting her uterus punctured by this stranger in your master bedroom, like, you enjoy that. Like that is the dopamine rush. It's euphoria. You're in the haze of sex, of your horniness. Like, that is the peak of the drug. And that's what we think about. But the aftermath, nobody ever discusses that. Right? But part of the reason why I don't want to be in an orgy or a multi-person sex party is because, like, I don't want to bust early. And then what? As you say, like, then you just get, like, the fog dissipates after the post-nut clarity, after the horniness leaves you, and you're just left there. Or in your case, you're watching your wife get fucked by this stranger, and you're not horny anymore, and they're just getting started. They're just getting warmed up. And then you're, well, now what do I do? And now wait these. Obviously, you're young enough or you're blessed enough where you get hard right away and then keep going. But there's going to be a point where you're not going to be able to do that, and you're just going to be sitting on that couch or that chair in the corner of the room, and that anger is going to fester. And we don't have enough sympathy for the cuck in that situation he finds himself in, probably more often than not, when he's engaging in the cuck. Is the post-cuck nut clarity when the wife and the ball haven't gotten their nuts yet. And you're just there fiddling your thumbs like the cuck you are, and it festers and it builds. But like a true cuck, you're able to get past that and seek out that high once again. It does remind me, Ari Shaffir, a very successful, talented comedian, very funny. He's very pro drug use, or at least he was the last time I was listening to his podcast. But he was talking to somebody on his podcast or some interview, and Ari Shaffir was talking about seeing like drug users in New York City just passed out on the street, and he said like he doesn't have sympathy for them because there was a point before, like after injecting the heroin into a vein, and the point where they drop and are passed out on the pavement, there is a point between those two where there was a feeling of euphoria when that drug hit and you were feeling high, walking around New York City, feeling better than anybody else. And that high is worth having the face planted in the pavement of New York City and not being able to move until an ambulance comes. So, addiction is a terrible thing. But there are some benefits to addiction, like that high, that euphoria, like the moment before you nut, when your wife is getting you dicked down by that stranger, like that's the high. That's the high you're chased. That's the high that's consuming you. And the shame and the post-nut clarity and the embarrassment and the anger that comes right after that high. If you need one, you need to have the high to have the other. Like you can't have the high without the shame and watching your wife's uterus get punctured and ruined by the neighbor. So hey man, like you're a cuck. I think you're a cuck. This comes with the lifestyle, and be happy you have somebody who you can be a cuck with. It's like your life's pretty fucking good right now. Pretty fucking good. But to you and everybody else, go suck a fat one.